No, this is why I told you I don't get in these social things, fights, because people always see things one way. That's it. It's always one way. The guy was like, man, I felt what you were saying about Dr. Carson. And then another person, see, you cooning. I'm like, see, this person's stupid. Because they don't understand that there's always two sides to the street. It's one truth and there's one common denomination. Like I told you, liberal people act like everything they do is liberal. It's a lie. They have things that they're conservative about too. Conservatives are not always conservative. They have very points and things that they're very liberal about. But they're all hypocrites. And they're going to tell you, no, it's not. I'm always this way. It's always this way. And when I say I can't look at these social issues because I don't want to get involved, because people don't listen. You tell blacks, well, I know it's okay. We want to blame the government. We want to blame the police. That's cool. But we got to take some accountability on our own and try to police ourselves and police our communities. Because where I'm from, on our block, there's none of this stuff going on. And I mean where I'm back on the south side. You know why? Because they're older black families on that block who won't tolerate the loud pants, the saggy pants, the loud music, the hanging and loitering on the block. Those old people ain't gonna allow that. And if anybody household was doing that, like one lady, she retired and left her home to her grandchildren, and then they basically was turning it into a trap house. That wasn't gonna survive on the block, because you had people who are very active about their community and what's going on. They'll have the city come take that house immediately before they let anything else. So she had to come back and reclaim the house and get her grandkids out of there, because they weren't going to have that in the neighborhood. So we have to take some type of onus on ourselves to police our own neighborhoods. That's if you care. Don't just turn to the police and say, look, you just being abusive. It's two sides. And there's been a lot of police officers that's on the force that have been bullied by people telling them, man, these cops are killing everybody, man. You working for them. You working for the devil. Quit. How you working for that white man, that white devil, and they killing your kids? Cops had to do this, black cops. I'm like, look, not all cops, and they're not all white cops that are corrupt. There are cops that actually help in the community. And some of them are white. Some of them are Hispanic. Some of them are black. But do you have bad apples in the bunch? Absolutely. But you don't see it that way. And you keep saying, this man working for the devil. Who you work for? Do you have a job? Who's your boss? What is he? You see, this is what I'm talking about. Everybody's concerned about everyone else instead of putting the mirror back on themselves. You have to be willing to take care of your own community. Now, I want you to listen to this. This is a police chief who really cares. But because of the crime that happens in the community, they're looking to start and feed off controversy, off of people being killed in the community, and the police aren't doing their jobs. You know, this is the media approach, without understanding that these guys who are out here doing their job, who's really doing their jobs, take offense to this stuff, because they're put in a box with everyone else who you may think is bad because of something that happened in another city, might not even be in the city they're talking about. but I want you to listen to it.
I heard a lot of things. Certainly there are some folks in this community that are legitimately grieving, and we heard from them. We heard a lot of folks who believe the First Amendment only applies to them and took great pains to shout down anybody that disagreed with them. Despite my ongoing disagreements with the police union, I have to say that their members tonight conducted themselves, I thought, with great restraint, given the ad hominem invective that was being unleashed on their work personally and the police department generally. So, you know, this is a controversy. This is a tragedy. I've said it over and over again. It's a tragedy for the family, a tragedy for Officer Manning. It's a tragedy for the community. But I'm not blind to the fact that there's a lot of people lining up to take advantage of this tragedy to flog their own agendas, and that was clear tonight as well.
You were accused of saying something to one of the protesters or one of the people in the stands. He accused you of...
He was making so much noise, I have no idea what he's talking about, but he feels insulted. Too bad.
What's your response to some of the people that thought you were being disrespectful by being on your phone and not being attentive to them?
Well, I was on my phone, and yes, that's true. I was following developments with a 5-year-old little girl sitting on her dad's lap who just got shot in the head by a drive-by shooting. And if some of the people here gave a good goddamn about the victimization of people in this community by crime, I take some of their invective more seriously. The greatest racial disparity in the city of Milwaukee is getting shot and killed. Hello. 80% of my homicide victims every year are African American. 80% of our aggravated assault victims are African American. 80% of our shooting victims who survived their shooting are African American. Now, they know all about the last 3 people that have been killed by the Milwaukee Police Department over the course of the last several years. There's not one of them can name one of the last 3 homicide victims we've had in this city. Now, there's room for everybody to participate in fixing this police department, and I'm not pretending we're without sin. But this community's at risk, all right. And it's not because men and women in blue risk their lives protecting it. It's at risk because we have large numbers of high-capacity, quality firearms in the hands of remorseless criminals who don't care who they shoot. Now, I'm leaving here to go to that scene. And I take it personally, okay? We're going up there, and there's a bunch of cops processing a scene of a dead kid. And they're the ones that are going to be out there patrolling and stopping suspects that may have guns under the front seat. They're the ones that are going to take the risks of their lives to try to clean this thing up. All right? We're responsible for the things we get wrong, and we take action. We've arrested cops, we've fired cops, and so on. But the fact is that the people out here, some of them, who had the most to say, are absolutely MIA when it comes to the true threats facing this community, and it gets a little tiresome. And when you start getting yelled at for reading the updates of the kid that got shot, yeah, you take it personal, okay? Now, no offense, but I'm going up there now.
Now, see? Now, you think that man he's not passionate about what he's doing? See, everybody wants to put together an organization, and I don't disagree with Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, but when you have a narrow-minded point of view, and you're only one side, and you don't see both sides of the glass, and you're not willing to sit down and talk to say, okay, this is what's going on, and find out what's going on in the department, talk to the unions, sit down, and then you just go out in the street and just start yelling. That's not, when has that ever got anything accomplished? Just going out in the streets yelling. Have it structured, talk to people where they can get sit downs and actually talk and go over these police procedures with people and say, okay, we need body cams, we need this. As you've seen, people with body cams now, it's cutting down on violence. Period. Police brutality, now that it's being watched, they have body cams on, it lessens the crimes, it lessens murders, it lessens everything. It has been done years before we've had a lot of these murders in the past couple of years. It works. That's why I suggested it. They had a lot of police reports of police battery before in another state. They tried body cams. It reduced the fraction down to 0. If your body cam isn't working, you got to go back to the station. If you cover your body cam, you're going to be suspended. You're going to be under review, and you're going to be suspended. These are very simple solutions. These are very simple problems to help police the police to follow the oath they took to serve and protect the innocent. That's all it is. This is why I don't get involved in social issues, because I can't look at somebody who hadn't done anything and has done something for the community and just judge him just because he's a cop. That's wrong. Cop kills somebody in North Carolina, I'm going to look at this guy and want to spit on him. That's the same type of ignorance that they would use against you and you would be upset about. If somebody in the South Side did a robbery, armed robbery, and then they looking at you in disdain and they're fearful of you because you might be of the same nationality as that person. Have to stop judging people. And if you want to really fix the problems, look at your neighborhood. Look at the person on the side of you. Look at the person on the right of you. Start there. Stop worrying about what's going on in Ohio. Stop worrying about what's going on in D.C. Stop worrying about Trump when you got somebody getting shot around the corner. Help take care of those situations. That affects your community. I'm out, man. And hopefully I'm done with these social videos, man. I'm telling you, this is why I don't really like to get involved in this stuff.